News Europe.
As everyone knows, what we are going to talk in this meeting in Belgium is the influence that European Union legislation and active politics have in our daily life. We are going to focus on 4 topics that they are very relevant to us. In this way, we will be able to see how being part of the European Union has changed our life and how EU membership has also brought new problems and difficulties. We are going to see through 4 videos that we are about to show you.
The first video will be about the European funds. Graciela will be our reporter in this video.
In the second video, Alba is going to talk about the industrial restructuring in Asturias.
In the third one, Lara will be our reporter, and it will consist of the European agricultural policy.
In the last one, Nora is going to talk about the new European educational programs like Comenius and Erasmus.
And without going further, we say goodbye to you and we'll leave you with our brave reporters.
There are some undeveloped areas in Spain, and even nowadays, some villages don't count with the facilities their inhabitants deserve. This was the situation of this area until a few years ago, when, thanks to the European investments, it started to develop as it can be seen today. Nowadays, this place is easily reached by car thanks to the new roads that had been constructed. However, there are also people who think that all these improvements have only helped increasing the debt and harming the environment.
The industry restructuring has supposed drastic cut-downs on the productive capacity and the rate of occupation of many traditional industries.
To adapt them to the new situation of the international division of labor and continued by the economic crisis. We have here behind us Ensidesa, a clear example of the industrial disaster in which thousands of workers have lost their work and the few ones that preserve it have every time more and more limited salaries. And well, we can appreciate this cause in the solitude of the proper factory.
Welcome. We have a very special guest today. Hello, Gandhi.
Hello. Sorry, my English is very bad.
Okay, so what was it like when you were studying English?
I studied in the army. It was really different back then. Our English teacher was the captain, and what he used to do was to read a sentence from a text and ask one of us to translate it. He often asked us in order, so we knew perfectly the sentence we had to translate. And what we really had to do was to memorize it and just say the translation when he called our name. As we always cheated, we never learned English, not as now I see.
So yeah, nowadays it's all very different. We have these projects, school trips, agencies and academies that bring us the chances and opportunities to learn English perfectly. So this was all for today. Thank you, Candy.
You're welcome.
Bye.
The agrarian problem is part of Asturias' history. It is the socio-economic result of a policy that allows regional differences. It reflects the agonizing land economy system renovation that is still unfinished. Rural regions in Asturias help the industrialization process of more developed cities, and meanwhile the rural regions have no resources or aid, and the unemployment is growing. It is the lack of a strong rural development policy. Asturias, in the last year, has lost from 20% to 60% of their cows, but the number of cattle now gives twice as much milk per head. Also, the Spanish cheese market has experienced over the last year a growth of 60.5% by volume, which contrasts even more considering the general behavior or consumption.
And we hope you have enjoyed this video and that you have learned something about our country. And remember, this is Youth News Europe, your concern, our focus. And remember, this is Youth News Europe, your concern. Remember.
¡Calla!
¡No! ¡Mierda, no me sale! Areas in Spain. Espérate.
This is Youth News Europe. This is Youth News Europe. Your concern, our focus.
Youth News Europe.